We're waiting for Becky.
That'll be
She's
her
moved
Monday,
down.
not Monday, it's Monday. Yeah, I'll make it work, I'll have to make it work. Okay, perfect. Okay, thanks. Bye.
I think Nikki had some challenges
Yeah,
last
just
week
that
getting
he
connected.
said they told him, but they didn't get it fixed, so. You go ahead and start and do it.
Okay,
We did renew that interlocal, so.
I knew you were gonna go there. I was thinking it, I just didn't say it out loud.
Well, I did.
You want us to go ahead, Becky?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, very good. Good morning, everyone. It is 9:01 on Monday, November 24th, 2025. I will call the meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners to order. A couple of reminders. The Lincoln County Board of Commissioners reserves the right to enter closed session at any time as necessary to discuss the agenda item currently before the board. We also reserve the right to take agenda items out of order for the convenience of the involved parties. We follow the Open Meeting Act, which is posted at the entrance to our room with amendments. At 9:15, we will recess as the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners and convene as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization, also following the Open Meeting Act with amendments. Our first order of business is to open with prayer. Commissioner Hughley, if you would do us the honors, please.
Join me if you're so inclined. Dear Heavenly Father, we just give thanks this morning, this holiday season, that for the many blessings that we do have in this country. We need to be giving thanks every single day of our lives for living in the United States of America, and for the many freedoms and abundant foodstuffs, living quality that we have compared to many of our brothers and sisters around this world. We just ask that you be with us today in our deliberations. We ask, as always, Father, that you be with those that put themselves in harm's way to protect these many freedoms, our men and women in uniform, as well as our first responders here locally and around the many states. We just ask that you bless this meeting. We pray these things in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. All right, next order of business is to approve the minutes of last week's meeting.
Move to approve the minutes regarding the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners meeting that was held November 17th, 2025, as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bruns. Oh.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Whirler.
Aye.
Thank you, Andy. Still trying to thinking about my laptop here.
That's okay. Gotcha. I got it.
Thank you.
Our next item is new to our agenda. After the approval of our rules last week, we now have a public comment period added. This time is time for the public to address the commissioners on items that are not on the agenda. We ask that the public come forward, sign in, announce themselves for the public record. A 3-minute time period will be allowed for most items unless we decide that it needs a little more time than that. So at this time, I would offer any members of the public to come forward and address us. Mary, would you like to?
Thank you.
very good.
Putting
You
that
coulda went
poor
down and-
lady on the spot.
You could have went down in history as the first one to have that as an agenda item. Moving on. Now we will, pardon?
I have interesting thought, but not when I'm on addressing the open meeting.
Okay, very good. We'll talk after the meeting, Tyler. Moving on, we will now consider the claims and the treasurer's receipts.
Madam Chair, I would make a motion, we approve the claims and treasurer's receipts as presented. As always, we have the right to pull any claim that we have further question about for further deliberation.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hughley and a second by Commissioner Weems. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Bruns,
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Yay.
Did she catch you mid-bite? Yep.
Swallow, yeah.
Next, we will receive and order file the fee reports as submitted by the county sheriff.
Move to receive and order filed the fee report submitted by the county sheriff in the amount of $2,332.20.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bruns,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Ward.
Aye. Next, we will discuss the cancellation of the 12/29/2025 county board meeting. Becky, I think you're the one that put this on the agenda. It's fairly routine that we consider this, correct?
Yes, I just wanted to make sure before we got too far along what we were gonna do for December. Typically, we have canceled the one between Christmas and New Year's, just because routinely there's not very much business and,
Becky, since you put it on there, I did have people ask me, some people in the building asked me about the 26th.
yeah.
And I said, I don't think that's typical, but I'll bring it up.
It's on our agenda.
It's on our
Oh.
agenda. I added that later
Yeah.
You added
for
that
us
later?
to discuss operation hours. But this item is strictly about the county board meeting
Yeah,
for the
I just need
29th.
to know for the agenda on this one, what you guys want to do.
I
Which would be
moved. I move to cancel the December 29th, 2025 county board meeting.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Just payroll and all that'll get taken care of.
We'll have to do it on the 22nd, yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah, cause we'll have a whole week to get payroll in and done, so.
Tammy
we
and
won't
I
have to-
did look into
Yeah,
that, and
yeah.
she said payroll will be done the week
Yeah,
before.
we do the whole year calendar, every elected official gets it, so they know exactly when it's gonna be due.
Very
Cause
good.
we will be at NACO, so they're gonna have to make plans to do that, or have somebody in their office do it on that Friday.
Maybe if we send out an inter-office memo to everybody, it might be a good reminder.
They do it every month.
Yeah.
Not that they read it, but we do it every month. For payroll, remind them when it's due, so.
Good morning, Todd.
Good morning. I see you have your new security guard out there. Isn't that correct?
Oh. I must not have paid any
But yes, we
attention
will
to him
make
this
sure that
morning.
people know we'll be at NACO, so.
Okay.
Okay, so we've had a motion and a second and discussion. Roll call, please.
Bruns,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Wooler.
Aye. So just to clarify, the meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners scheduled for 12/29/2025 will be canceled. Our next agenda item is authorize the chair to sign the right-of-way application submitted by Encorp.
Good morning, Jason Schultz, Lincoln County Highway Superintendent. So this permit is for a water line crossing, Somerset down south, where Incorp's ground is, for a new water line they're installing. Looked at it, no objections from roads department.
It's just a crossroad thing.
Just going across the road, yeah. They own both sides right there.
Be my motion to authorize the chair to sign the right-of-way application submitted by Incorp as presented with the blessing of the highway superintendent.
Second, the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
This is south of that section line, so this is Somerset.
Yeah, it's south of Lone Star, I believe about a mile.
There been any more conversation on that road?
No,
Okay.
none that I've had.
Keep it that way.
I do have a check attached to the application in the amount of $201.98.
Did I actually say that?
Roll call, please.
Weems,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Bruns,
Aye.
Wooler.
Aye.
I wouldn't wanna disappoint Tyler. I gotta throw one or two of those in every meeting, don't I, Tyler? Just to keep your life interesting.
Keeps all of us on our toes, Joe. Our next item, I see Jason holding his seat, is authorize the chair to sign the right-of-way application submitted by CenturyLink/Lumen.
So this is a fiber installation, south of town from Highway 83 on North Lake Road, going down to the FedEx facility there. So it'd be going down the right of way and then a bore underneath, North Lake Road. And we looked at it, and no objections from the roads department.
So, what kind, is it a fiber? What is it?
Yeah,
There's not fiber down there now? That seems strange.
I don't know if they have fiber there or not. There is some fiber in there.
Seems like you could
but-
tap off of a box.
Well, they're coming off of one of their existing boxes there on Highway 83.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
and then
you.
they're just coming down. and
All right,
under
answers
North
my
Lake.
question. Thank you.
Yeah, it only looks like it's, what, a quarter of a mile?
Yeah, just down to that FedEx building there.
Make a motion that we authorize the chair to sign the right-of-way application submitted by CenturyLink Lumen for fiber.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? There is a check attached for $344.85.
Better than 25.
Absolutely. Roll call, please.
Bruns,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Wooler.
Aye.
Jason, question for you. You thought you were gonna get away, but I can just see you kind of tensioning up right now. Either Chris was or I was gonna.
Yes.
You know, with some of the bigger ones, CenturyLink being one of them, When do they actually submit those as-built for that?
It varies.
Could we tighten it up so that, you know, you either get the as-built with the application, or we couldn't do an as-built, but, you know, within 30 days following completion of the work, how's that?
Yeah, and I think we do have, I'll have to read through the permit again,
Okay.
but we do have some language in there
All
that we
right,
need to
thank
be.
you. All right.
Yep,
Just have to be a little quicker next time, getting that.
no problem, Joe.
Thanks, Jason.
I'll get 1 foot out next
All
time.
right.
My word.
It is 9:16. We will recess as the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners and convene as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization, following the Open Meeting Act with amendments that's posted at the entrance to our room. We will begin by approving the minutes of last week's Board of Equalization meeting held on November 17th, 2025.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held November 17th, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hughley,
I
Weems,
Aye.
Bruns,
Aye.
Fuller.
Aye.
don't know either, Chris. Second item. Are we supposed to have our public comment during Board of Equalization also?
It's a separate meeting.
It's a separate meeting.
Did I-
Tyler
Open-
discussed that
Open
with
Meetings Act
us.
requires it at every meeting,
Gotcha.
so.
That was part of a discussion that we had in our
Gotcha. I
many
remember.
discussion on
Yes.
the rules, was also having that
Thank you.
added there. Did I do roll call on that one, Becky?
Yeah,
Not yet? Okay.
Yes, you did.
Oh, we did. Okay, thank you.
I think I did.
oh, I think Joe was moving on to the second one.
Okay.
That's not just me.
All right, we will move on. As I addressed earlier, we have our updated rules in place. We now also have a public comment period during the Board of Equalization meeting. Same rules will apply as I addressed earlier. This is an opportunity for people in the public to address the Board of Equalization for items that are not on the agenda, and they will be just a discussion. We cannot take any action on an item that is not on the agenda. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address the Board of Equalization today? There is no one moving forward, so we will move on to certificates of correction and refund as submitted by the County Assessor's Office. Good morning, Pat. Nice to see you. County Assessor's Office indicates that they have none for us today. Next, we have the motor vehicle tax exemption application is submitted by the County Treasurer. Good morning.
I'm making up for those corrections with exemptions.
There's 3 sets. Should be 3 sets.
Okay, Commissioner Hughley, would you like to begin?
Commissioner Hughley's a little slow, so I've got to read through this. There's a number of them.
Take your
I
time.
always want to do things correctly. I'd make a motion that we approve application for exemption form 457. Little levity never hurts, seriously.
We're a little spunky
Feels
this
like I was
morning.
never gone.
By Community Action Partnership in Nebraska. This is for several vehicles. There are actually 5 vehicles, a Hyundai, a Mazda, a Ford, Chevy, and Chrysler. They are used for charitable and nonprofit purposes. They are recommended for approval by Sherry Newton, the county treasurer, and it would be my motion that we approve the exemption for those vehicles.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Bruns,
All right.
Fuller.
Aye.
Form 457, I have two of those in my hand for the Salvation Army here in North Platte. The top page indicates application for exemption for a 2016 Ford van, 2014 Ford Flex SUV, a 2006 4300 conventional something but international, I'm guessing it's some kind of a truck, and a Great Dane trailer, a 2006 model year. In addition, the second page, we have a Chrysler 2025 Voyager and a 1998 Ford commercial truck. These notes on both of these applications used for transportation, various programs, meetings, and other Salvation Army activities. The only additional comment is on page 2 with the Chrysler Voyager and Ford commercial truck. As Sherry Newton comments and as she signs her approval that the 2025 Chrysler and 1998 Ford are moving in from out of county, so that's probably why it's a separate form. My motion is to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Weems,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Bruns,
All right.
Fuller.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I have a correction on my previous motion. There's a second page and there were a couple of more vehicles I would like to read into that for the record if I could, please. There-
Yes, Commissioner Hughley.
There is also a 2019 Dodge Caravan and a 2015 Chevy Silverado for the Community Action Partnership of Mid-Nebraska to go along with the vehicles I had previously read. I would like to offer that correction.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to amend the previous motion on Community Action Partnership of Nebraska's Form 457. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Bruns,
All right.
Fuller.
Aye.
Let it be note for those people that were watching, remember, I'm the one that always wants to do things correctly, right?
That is right. And good
Might
catch.
just takes 2 or 3 times to get that done sometimes. Thank you.
Good catch.
Appreciate it.
Madam Chair, I have an application for exemption, Form 457 from the American National Red Cross. Multiple vehicles on here. They are a charitable organization. And these vehicles are to be used to transport employees and supplies to blood drives throughout their service region. Included in the list is a 2021 Ram ProMaster 3500, a 2023 Ram ProMaster 3500, a 2024 Toyota Camry, a 2024 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, a 2024 Honda CR-V Hybrid, and another 2024 Honda CR-V Hybrid. They have been reviewed and recommended for approval by the county treasurer, Sherry Newton. It would be my motion that we align with the recommendation from the county treasurer and approve this application for exemption.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bruns,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Fuller.
Aye.
You start.
Oh. It's better than not at all.
Yeah, Vicky deserves.
Maybe.
Vicky deserves it.
Why is
We
that?
want to make sure it doesn't fall
Oh,
through
you?
the cracks.
Well, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
I had that one coming. That's okay.
That was so easy. It was a layup.
That was
Kinda
the
just served that
last
one right up there.
Yeah,
didn't
you
it?
did.
item for the Board of Equalization. We will adjourn at 9:25 and reconvene as the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners. The agenda item before us is discuss and consider action on an application by Raymond and Darcy Sundstrom for Clemens subdivision located at 8190 South Highlands Drive in an R2 urban density district described as part of the northwest quarter of section 31, township 31 north, range 30 west of the 6 PM, Lincoln County, Nebraska.
Good morning.
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 Good morning, Judy.
This is the same subdivision that we saw last week, so I'm not gonna go over it too extensively. But we did increase the, size of the lot on that, I believe it was lot 2. So it's, again, just a lot split, or, excuse me, 2 lot creation for, 2 new homes to develop there in the future. Nicole did not put the actual application in, they don't have the map or anything.
Well, we saw
Oh,
it last
do
week.
you wanna see it? Okay.
No,
see
I
it last week?
don't
Okay.
need it.
We
It's
saw it.
just
I was
a-
gonna say, I've got it.
We're
if you want
good,
it.
we're good.
Very good. Okay.
Be my motion to approve the Clemens subdivision.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Commissioner Bruns, I think you're the one that asked that question. Does that satisfy the question that you had on the,
As long as it
Adjusting the
meets the
setback.
language of our zoning
Yep,
regs, that's all I
yep,
care
we got
about.
it.
very good.
That way
Judy,
we're
I,
not being arbitrary and capricious with what we follow.
Well, I went and reread that, so, we're gonna clear it up in the new one, because I think it's not clear.
Yeah,
You read it one way, I read it a different way, but I'm fine with it, it's fine, so.
Okay.
Yep,
and it's
Thank
my
you.
understanding
problem.
that you had a good conversation with the county surveyor and she helped you.
on this
On
and
that.
another one that's coming up at some point, yes.
Very good. Please extend my thanks to Bonnie for helping you out with that.
I
'cause
will do that.
I studied it and studied it too, and I could never get out of it what I felt like the application was looking for, so.
Yep.
I'm glad that you guys have made an adjustment to that to clear it up for future.
Yep, we got that figured out, and, yep, we
Awesome.
will get it cleared up in the future so we can have it, not as gray.
Very good. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Weems,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Bruns,
aye.
Boyd.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Judy.
Yep.
That's it for payroll.
That will be it for payroll.
Payroll's done.
That's all payroll.
I will let them know. The payroll is done. We want to get it. It's down by, for training purposes. The regular. Okay, thank you. Bye. Sorry. Should probably try to run over the desk.
I was perusing that this morning and realized that finally.
Is that an evidence bag?
You're good to
No
go.
wonder they sent certified print.
How come Kent gets a taser and the rest of us don't?
Because he's sitting next to you.
I walked right into that one, didn't I?
Yeah, what do you think?
He might need it.
Thanks for that.
I mean, do you blame him? He's sitting in between you and you.
It is a dangerous seat to have. I had it last year.
No, this might be an inspection. He was giving me grief about that.
It is 9:30. The agenda item before us is discuss and consider the interlocal agreement for police services with the Village of Maxwell.
This is a first.
Morning.
Good morning, Captain Newton. Sheriff Kramer?
Good morning.
Thank you.
We were contacted a couple months ago by the Village of Maxwell to enter into another law enforcement contract with them, which we haven't had since, I think, Dwayne Detterding was sheriff.
No, we've been them.
We have.
We have,
It's been a while.
Yep. Yes, we have.
repeatedly, we have.
Sort of an off and on we have.
Yeah,
So,
As the wind changes.
yeah. I met with the board and, with our, the biggest change is gonna be the electronic citations. We can't go into a village and write a handwritten ticket anymore, can't do it anywhere in the state. So they would have to submit the ordinances that they want enforced to the clerk magistrate here in Lincoln County, who submits them to the Nebraska Supreme Court, who puts them on a website, we download them, we can write the ticket now. It's wonderful.
Oh, it's the
But
efficiency
it's-
of government.
Yeah, the efficiency, it's awesome, but every village in the county has had to do that at one point or the other, and we get into situations where they decide they want something enforced, and we literally can't write a ticket, so they have to go through the whole process again, so Maxwell's gonna have to do that. They don't have any ordinances in the system right now,
So they have to update their entire,
no.
well, they'll just pick out the ordinances that they want us
Oh,
to
that they're-
enforce, and they'll submit those.
What's that length of process look like, Captain?
Sutherland tried to update theirs, and it was 11 months through, falling through the cracks here and there,
And that's the ones that really get after it.
yep.
wow. It'll be time to renew before they get it done.
And the Supreme Court,
Twice.
several years ago, they changed where the county attorney can no longer prosecute village ordinance violations, so the village truly has to go through there and pick what they want to spend the money on their attorney to enforce. So highly encourage that, so we're not writing tickets on stuff they don't care about.
The thing with Maxwell, even when it was the other way, when the county attorney was prosecuting, it's a small town, they didn't want their ordinances enforced. And we would always get their hours just by doing school zones and passing through to get to Brady that has a contract, so the contracts have always been found to be unnecessary, but they want one again, so I guess we'll transfer some money from the city to the county and
But to differentiate, like speeding tickets can be issued because that's not a,
yeah, we can
Village.
enforce state statute there anyway, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're looking for problem property
Yeah,
Right.
enforcement outside of their
nuisance
local board of
dog,
health.
things like that.
Correct.
yeah, they've updated quite a bit of their ordinances, and I think they
We-
realize they don't have anybody that has teeth to enforce it, so.
They try to enforce it when they show up and they have no law enforcement backing, it turns bad.
Yeah.
They had a gentleman that was constantly blocking an alleyway, and that's nothing we can enforce. It's not a state statute, so they tried and got into verbal altercations. We came and enforced a state statute on that one. But
Yeah.
that's what they're looking for, is their village stuff. And it could be kind of hairy, because it's been a while since they've had a contract that they wanted to enforce certain things. So I've encouraged them to reach out to however they communicate with their citizens in the village and tell them what's going on, so it's not a shock.
Tyler, have you had an opportunity to look this over?
Yeah, I glanced at it. I wrote it.
Oh.
Yeah, he,
Glanced at it.
Thank you.
Hope you did more than that.
since we had to get into it, mid-term, basically, he changed it so it would expire with the other villages in the county, so.
Yep, running on the same schedule as every other law enforcement contract.
Very good.
We have any other villages that we don't have an agreement with now. Wasn't Maxwell the only outlier?
Always has been.
Very good. If there's no other questions, I would seek a motion.
Be my motion to approve your signature, Chair, on the interlocal agreement for police services with Village of Maxwell as it's been presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Weems,
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Fuller.
Aye.
Do you have an original, Becky, or is this the only one we got?
They're
I'm
that was right
signing
there.
the
Okay.
original.
Because I haven't signed it
You need to
either.
sign that too, yeah. I'll just scan and email a copy back to Micah,
Okay.
and I'll scan it again to you.
Thank you. Is that his signature?
Yes,
Thank you, guys.
here, Drew.
Our next item is at 9:40.
Mine, I've got a question on that agreement, that law enforcement agreement.
Judge Connick.
It is 9:40. Before us is discuss and consider A resolution directing the Lincoln County Highway Superintendent to perform a study of Vieira Avenue pursuant to Nebraska State Statute 39-1722.
I suppose I'll turn my mic on and talk. This one is on here because I had it added. This is the first step in a potential vacation of Vieira Road. I'm sure Commissioner Bruns will chime in. He and I chatted with Jerry Vieira last week after our meeting. And after having talked to him about this a little bit and looking at the way that the winds are blowing with the city potentially, he was very comfortable simply having the county vacate the property back to him and he'll maintain it as a driveway. So, the first step in the process is for the board to direct the highway superintendent to go make a study of the road. Technically, he has 30 days to do that. I don't think it'll take him quite that long. I'll work with Jason. He can let me know when he's gonna be done with that. The next step will be setting a public hearing on that, if that's something the board wants to do. And then we'll just proceed from there.
So, I mean, I really don't have a whole lot to add. I mean, we did have that conversation with Mr. Vieira out there and just kind of ran through different courses of action that could potentially happen, given, you know, indications that we received from the city on, you know, any part of that road that may be annexed, and then potentially vacated. And as Tyler said, this was the way to have an outcome that is probably inevitable, that is the cleanest, with regard to not having multiple tracts of land at the end of the day that end up being vacated, part of them in city limits, being levied at the city property tax, part of them in county. And so this I think is probably gonna be the simplest, cleanest way to get to that likely outcome anyway. So, Mr. Vieira was perfectly fine with it. I think he said as much in news reports. Gonna find it interesting though. Very likely reality that here in a few years this will be back on somebody's radar as far as putting in a new road for housing. So, is what it is at this point. And so asked Tyler what that process would look like for vacating that county road.
Tyler, in part of your statement, you said public hearing if the board wants to. That's something we have discretion with. That's not part of state statute.
No, you have to have the public hearing if you want to vacate the road.
If we want to vacate the road. Thank you for clarifying that.
Based on what I know, I suspect that's how this board feels about it, but Jason may turn up something in his study that leads you to believe otherwise, so. I'm an attorney, I never speak in absolutes.
Probably a policy I should learn to adopt too. Is there any other discussion? I will seek a motion.
Madam Chair, it'd be my motion that we pass and adopt resolution 2025-32, directing Lincoln County Highway Superintendent to perform a study of Vieira Avenue pursuant to Nebraska Revised Statute 39-1722.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions?
And just clarifying, this isn't us actually vacating the road, this is us just taking steps to get to a point where we can actually determine if that's what we want to do with it.
Yes, thanks for the clarification. This is directing our road superintendent, Jason, to do a study and report back to us.
Apparently, Chris, it's the best way we can protect Mr. Vieira's interest in the property, because obviously the city's, in my opinion, is gonna be arbitrary about the whole process, already has been, so. It is what it is, as you say.
If there's no other discussion, roll call, please.
Bruns,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Fuller.
Aye. Our next item is at 9:50.
Sign both front and back.
You guys just sign the back. It should be in the other one, yeah. The sticker over here.
Yes, sign back.
Sorry.
I usually have it on the top for you.
So we'll see
It's
it.
gonna be interesting. That comes up here.
Since there was two
Somebody's asking
places to sign.
Yeah, I usually just write them to Little Costa. Not gonna hurt anything.
No,
Pretty sure I'll be at those public meetings.
they usually just
Based
get
on,
filled in by your office.
Mr. Vieira's remarks at our meeting, though, I don't anticipate.
Oh, do you?
him
I know over the years, just, I see them and
I
they're,
mean,
somebody's
he
written
sat
in
there
their
and
names
said
across.
that.
That's me,
That's you,
usually.
yep. That'd be you.
Location, location, location. Oh, I didn't sign it that. I'm
You
sorry,
don't have
you
to.
don't have to?
No, there was just one of us felt important enough to sign it.
Joe,
Joe's
Mike
wanting to do
Whitbeck, he
things
writes his
correctly.
name. in
Just
the
so you don't feel alone, Joe, I signed a couple of invoices twice today, so. There was, you could probably ask your attorney. If it's like school board stuff, it'll take them a while to discover it.
Oh, jeez. That OPS thing.
I wish my bank would not notice when I get double deposits.
Are you kidding? I remember.
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out too.
It's gonna impact the entire state, every single district. I'm surprised nobody's been fired for that $30 million blunder.
They said, Elizabeth Tegmeyer put out a statement today and said that employee no longer works there and had the one that,
On the school, on the state
on
board.
this, no, the one that sent it out from the Nebraska Department of Education, the employee that processed it twice is no longer employed. It didn't go into great detail, so.
That's like the low part on the totem pole too.
That's usually where it starts.
Spend it anyway.
Yeah.
When you, as a board, you don't lower your levy 11 cents?
You, yes,
Yeah.
you would have thought.
Well, you would think.
At least one set of eyes would have caught that. Huge. Although I don't know what their overall budget is, so.
State aid was 30 million.
Did they give anything to put in?
No way to do that. They'll share.
It is 9:50. we now have discuss and consider December holiday hours for the county. Becky, I did have some conversation with Tammy on past practice, and it seems like some things are pretty standardized and other things are up to discretion. So why don't you speak to what we're looking at here?
Before I left, when I was gone the last couple of weeks, there was a survey by a lot of the county clerks asking what the hours were gonna be on the 24th and 26th for different things. So, I mean, it was kinda all over the board, I'll be honest. The thing we've ran into in the past was that the federal government at the very 11th hour declares that Friday after Christmas a holiday. So, will they, won't they? I mean, I don't have a crystal ball either, but, it does make it that everybody, it's kinda hard to plan if you don't know. But like I said, it's usually at the last minute they do it, from what I remember.
With this being a different federal government, it's hard telling what might happen, sure.
Yeah,
Right.
so,
So Christmas Eve falls on Wednesday, the 24th, and Christmas Day on Thursday, the 25th. Traditionally, I think in the few years I've been here, do we close like at 1 o'clock on Christmas Eve some
I
years,
think it's
every year?
noon, it's noon, I
Is it
believe,
noon?
because then you don't get into all the lunch hour and all that.
Okay.
Yes, so, I think we closed at noon. And I think the last, well, I've been around long, I think that the federal government has actually shut down on that Friday the last several, at least, times that it's felt this way, from my memory, but,
It's been a while since it has fallen on a Friday
Yeah.
because of leap year, so I don't know that we've addressed that since I've been here, but Joe,
probably not.
you've probably encountered that a few times.
I have, and as Tammy will tell you, as Becky will tell you, there's always a lump of coal and a Scrooge in every office. I happen to be the board's Scrooge.
I'm gonna
So
join you,
So
Joe.
so I am the one that in the past has always been very frugal and wanting to work up to the last moment. So I will leave that bit of history for itself, and whatever this board feels in its collective wisdom, I would certainly go along with.
Does it make sense for us to, because we don't know what the courts are doing. They're gonna really weigh in on whether or not it gets declared a federal holiday. But does it make sense for us to maybe close at noon, and then just everything is the discretion of elected officials and department heads with their own independent offices?
That is certainly one approach we can take. For me personally, I'm kind of with Joe. I worked in an industry where we worked Christmas Eve, we worked the day after Christmas. With that said, I have had some constituents reach out to me and ask, because something we need to take into consideration is a lot of college kids come home over the holidays, or just family members traveling in that would like to maybe relicense their car or get a driver's license on that Friday after Christmas. So that's just something for us to consider. Although nowadays with the technology we have, you can do most of that online.
Most of it is done.
I can
Yeah.
tell you that historically, it started out as a 3 o'clock early quit. That's what it started out with.
On Christmas
Then it's-
Eve.
Yeah, and then it sort of moved up from there,
It
so,
became earlier.
so that we know how it had been for up until, I don't know, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't know how long. It had always historically been that way, and then sort of kind of started coming back. Not saying that's right, not saying that's wrong, I'm just historic, so we kind of know what happened in the past.
Do we also need to be talking about New Year's Eve?
Historically, we have not closed because the treasurer needs to be, I guess
Yeah,
there's
it's-
nothing,
yeah,
the treasurer
that's-
needs to be open
yeah,
to
that
collect,
year
so.
end,
But New Year's Eve, we have not done anything,
Yeah, I wouldn't go there.
yeah. No, we need to be here for people who wanna pay their real estate taxes. That
I wonder if anyone knows if Nebraska's DMV is gonna be open on the 26th.
I don't know, if the federal declares it a holiday, they will, then all the state offices will shut down, of course, but,
You know,
which I think our new handbook says that, doesn't it, Tyler? If the,
I
The-
think if
it's
it's a
declared
federal
federal
holiday,
holiday.
we recognize it also, I believe.
I
But
believe so,
could be
that's
wrong.
what, I thought that's what we decided for the new handbook, to clarify that.
Just so happens I keep a copy.
And that would not change regardless of what we do for an early quit. If it said at the last minute declared a federal holiday, then we would make that announcement that it would also be that way here. Would be my assumption, referring to legal counsel.
no, I'm sympathetic to the group that would like to have that day off, but I also think we need to be cognizant of the fact we need to be here for business that needs to be done. And if we leave the 26th as a day of business, offices can plan accordingly for staffing. Some staff may be out of town, others willing to be flexible to be at the front counter, so to speak. But that's my opinion, and to your point, I do recall that 3 p.m. closing on the Christmas Eve being
See, I'm not the only old guy around here.
well, that's from the 90s, I remember that, early 90s.
The recent past.
Say late 90s, geez, come on.
Yeah, but anyway,
90s sounded better.
we do, you know,
It's not like that.
it's not,
Oh,
I thought we had, yeah, I was
I
gonna say,
thought we did
had-
that when we talked
so
about
did
that.
I.
If
I
the,
thought we had
if the
to.
feds declared a
It's not
federal
in there.
holiday and the state shut down, then we would also follow
Apparently.
suit. I thought we did that in the handbook, so we need to amend that, cause I think that's what everybody thinks.
Captain Dan's gotta work. Right, Dan? Somebody, he's not weighing in. Huh? Oh, jeez. He goes across the room and starts throwing stuff at you.
It's a good thing he's over there.
You gave me your taser though, so what are you gonna do?
Oh, I absolutely invite you to
Please,
give us
Jason,
from
somebody
the,
other than me. It's
from the road department's perspective.
Jason Schultz, Lincoln County Highway Superintendent. I guess
Point of order, depending on what you're gonna say. You know, hold my point of order.
reserve that.
You should write it down, we'll read it first.
You're probably,
Yeah, that's
you're probably
right.
gonna
Good
get
point.
his point of order whether you want it or not.
So I guess speaking from the roads perspective only, I kinda like Chris's idea of leaving it up to the department heads, just because for our department, I guess I would prefer to have that leeway to give the guys time off to be with their families, cause in our line of work, we don't know when the storms are gonna hit, if we're gonna have snowstorms, if they're gonna get called in on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, you know, even through the holidays here, it's, I guess it's a struggle, because I'd like to be able to offer that to them and still be able to have them all on call during the whole time they're off anyway, so.
So, how would that affect if, say, for example, because they're on call and et cetera, let's say, how would it affect if somebody else works that whole day or something? Your guys are off with pay? They're working all day with pay. That doesn't seem like that's very cohesive with the whole county. I mean, regardless whether they get called in for overtime or not.
Yeah, and the overtime wouldn't kick in until they actually work 40 for the week, so I
Oh,
don't know
I get
if
it.
the overtime would come into play, but it would just be the sheer hours. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That is a,
And you know, also, and the way the employees are gonna love me.
They already.
But you know, when we when we hire on for that job, we hire on knowing that. I mean, I worked for the railroad for 7 or 8 summers and winters and stuff. I mean, I hired on knowing that. I mean, we worked a week straight and slept in the back of a truck one time. So, Captain Dan, and I'm sure the sheriff have probably put in a few holidays necessarily they're not real happy about, but that is part of the job. And so, I appreciate, pardon me? So, anyway, not to diminish your point, I understand, and that's, and as a good supervisor, I'd want to do the same thing for my people. I don't want to stand up and speak for them.
My 2 cents, I feel like the sheriff's office, our road department is fairly unique in, you just spoke to that. My question is, for the courthouse, if one office is gonna be open, I feel like all of the offices need to be open. There needs to be some kind of standardization there, because I feel like if a person comes in and they wanna go to the treasurer's office, they may also wanna go to the Department of, well, I guess if the treasurer's office is open, motor vehicles usually is too, but maybe they have business in the clerk's office or register of deeds. If they come in to do business and one office is open and one is closed,
But can we direct elected officials to have their offices open?
But that goes back to another point, and I know what Tyler's saying and comes from, and it says that each elected office shall be responsible for their office. But if you look at that, and if we probably wanted to look at some real legal challenges, I would think there would be a good argument to be made if one office, let's say the assessor says, okay, my office is gonna be closed these 3 weeks, okay? But I'm gonna pay all my people. That's not her responsibility for the pay, that falls within our realm. I would think there could be some good arguments made about, well, there has to be some kind of a balance here as to, we can't maybe say this on a work condition, or if you want to work 8 to 5 versus 9 to 6 or 7 to 4, that's a control within the office. So in the past, and I don't know that this necessarily holds true, but somebody made a suggestion, have the office open, have the courthouse open. If they want to work it with themselves, the elected official, them and one other person, maybe they're not as busy, that's fine. I kind of understand that a little bit. But so that's a tough road we go down when we start varying too much from the norm.
I don't think that, and this is me playing devil's advocate.
Sure.
I'm not trying to poke or anything, Joe, surprisingly. Kidding. But I don't think that we have the authority to dictate to an elected official that they have their office open. I think as long as they post it, and they're responsible to the voters, and ultimately that's who's gonna determine if they're closed too much, they're gonna be removed from that position. But
I'm not arguing. I think you're correct. I'm saying if this were ever to go to a legal challenge, I think we could find some good arguments, but I'm not arguing with you. I think that is the law.
I have a question. You can always count on me for one more question. Joe, you brought up pay. So if we determine that every office is closed, do the employees get paid for that day? Or if the elected official individually determines, then do they have to use comp time? They get paid one way or the other for that time. Is that what you're saying?
if we close it and declare it a holiday, then they get that holiday pay. If their elected official closes it, I don't think they get that.
Tyler's got
I
the
missed
manual
that
out
day in law
again.
school. I'm not sure. Were you there, Kent, that day?
I was actually, so I'll tell you this, I would leave the 26th open and as another day of business, and as in the past, historically, the elected officials opt in or out. We've had officers do that, you've seen it, we've all seen it. The road department, if you wanna give the road department the latitude to leave the front office closed, those people are on call anyway. So that doesn't change the fact that the road crews are on call from any year. And I guess I'm not hung up on the front office being closed there, since he is an appointed official. So he works under our direction, and leave the courthouse open, and the individual offices can do as they see fit to staff or not.
And Commissioner Weems, I believe that's the position that we've taken on inclement weather days too, is if we
Pretty much.
opt not to close the courthouse, the individual office as elected officials do have the authority to close their office. So
That's my point.
I am very supportive of that position,
That's the point I was making.
yes.
I think we're pretty close anyway, we're just talking.
Was that a motion or not? I was gonna make a second. I didn't know if that was a motion.
That sounds like a good invitation.
It's a convolution, is what it is. My motion would be to officially leave the courthouse open on the 26th. You want, Tyler, you want a en masse motion for hours on these dates? Multiple dates, or you want me to single them out?
That's a pretty nice motion right there. If in fact, the understanding is, well, I'm sorry, I have a
Should we
second.
just,
and
should we
Jeff-
just deal with 26th?
You know what, I'm gonna second, let's have some discussion.
Our current holiday that we recognize is just Christmas, correct? Do we recognize
That's
Christmas Eve? Exactly.
I don't think
No.
we do
Christmas.
Christmas Eve in there, no.
Exactly.
When you look in the book.
So, let me help you all out. Closing or early dismissals are not considered holidays, period. Nobody should be getting free pay when you close the courthouse for any reason.
Good, thank you.
Exactly. We would have, that's what I was saying earlier, this board would have to recognize it as a holiday in order for them to
Yeah,
get holiday.
and we have it, so they
Exactly.
can do what they wanna do.
Good deal.
Perfect.
Good to clarify.
And I think yours hit it right there.
Okay, is that a complete motion? All that meandering?
I think you did a great motion.
Could you clarify for me? And
The
Becky?
motion would be that we would remain open the courthouse for the 26th, and the various elected officials have the discretion, as always, to staff and be accessible at their discretion. So the exception to the motion would be, we would reserve the right to direct the highway superintendent to close his front office as he wishes, but his staff would remain on call for the obvious needs of the road department, as always.
Okay. And if that was your motion, I think I'd already seconded. I had seconded a little bit different, so let me think how we do this.
Okay.
I'm gonna withdraw my
I
second.
think you have to, yeah.
I'm gonna withdraw my second
Very well.
because of the expanded motion, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna,
You want me to withdraw all the road department verbiage?
well, no, I don't care. Let's just talk
Yeah,
through
well,
it. So-
it's very complicated over very low.
You know, what I think is, what Tyler said is, we haven't declared them holidays, the holiday is Christmas, so if people want paid, we pay a holiday, we pay
have done that
Christmas.
for.
We don't pay the next day, we don't pay the day before, we don't pay any of those
I'll
things.
just withdraw the motion, you can start over.
Oh, so, do you wanna just
Can I-
leave it
can I
as
make a
your
motion?
original motion?
Please, can I make a motion?
Let's-
Please do.
Yes,
I
thank
make a
you.
motion that we have normal business hours on the 24th and the 26th. We recognize Christmas is a holiday, the courthouse will be closed. It's at the discretion of elected officials and department heads how they're staffing.
So it's a motion
Yeah.
to do exactly.
Exactly what we're doing, but we have it on here to discuss and consider what our holiday hours are. I'm just reaffirming that they are normal.
I'll second that motion.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. Tyler, you had your manual out. Is there anything you would like to add from our handbook perspective?
No.
Very good.
I would also, just for, because we're in discussion right now,
Correct.
if the federal holiday declared, or if the federal government declares the 26th as a holiday, we always have the discretion, or the chair has the discretion for closing the courthouse, per the rules that we passed last week, so.
So you included the 24th in your motion
Mhm.
for regular business hours,
Mhm.
which we haven't done since prior to my tenure.
It's
So-
discretion of the elected officials and the department heads. If they want to close their offices at noon, they're able to do that.
I can't support the motion for we're gonna include the 24th. But that's just me.
Becky, do you have anything from your perspective as a full-time employee in the building that you would like to add? I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Historically, we have closed early, us and the city, we have closed early historically
On Christmas Eve.
I guess I would rather see that uniform for the courthouse, cause we're gonna have noon, 1 o'clock, some may not open at all. I think that just makes it harder for the public to know who's gonna be here on Christmas Eve. I think people expect us to be closed early on Christmas Eve now, cause we've done it for so long. Like I said, the 26th, it is what it is. We'll see what the federal government does, but
I have a question, Becky. When we closed at 3 o'clock or 1 o'clock or noon on Christmas Eve, okay? Were those people paid?
yes.
Okay,
And most of us let them go early and just stayed.
so you say yes.
Yes.
According to legal counsel, we probably shouldn't have been doing that, I think, i.e. Mr. Bruns's motion. Am I correct, Tyler? Because it's not a holiday.
Not a holiday.
That is what the manual says.
Okay,
I don't know if it was clarified in our old manual though, was it, prior to these? I don't know. Because we've had 2 manuals previous to this one, so I don't know what the wording was in those. I mean, some of us stayed till 3, others left earlier than that. I mean, it was just at our discretion. But I do think we need to have a time on Christmas Eve.
Uniform.
I would agree.
I would
And
agree.
you know what? Should this be something that we take a week and think about? Or should we, I mean, Christmas Eve isn't tomorrow. Or is this something, I remember our chair saying, this is gonna be a relatively easy meeting. You remember that earlier? It's non-controversial.
Any time at least 3 of us gather in this room, it's not probably gonna be an easy meeting. With that said, I don't feel like there's an urgency for a decision to be made today, although,
That
I
way-
don't know that there's any reason to postpone the decision another week. So I would
The
count
only,
on you guys.
the only reason that we would postpone it is so that we could get more pressure from the employees
Correct.
to do something different.
Correct.
So, I mean, I just thought maybe we wanted to get some jabs and,
Well, regarding the discussion portion, I have to agree with Becky that it's been fairly predictable that the city and the county closes early for the employee group. And that's an accommodation I don't think is unreasonable. That's why I won't vote for this for regular business hours on the 24th.
I'm open to amending my motion. What's an appropriate time for closure on the 24th?
I don't know what's appropriate.
I would
Well, we
lean
need to
on
determine it,
on
so-
Becky's recommendation of past practice of noon closure on the 24th. If you're open to amending your motion.
I take that friendly amendment.
so was that offered as an amendment? And so are we voting on the amendment now?
A friendly amendment.
Do you accept the friendly amendment with the
Oh,
second?
I do, yes. If it's a friendly amendment, I do accept that.
Okay, Becky, just for clarification, read back what the final motion is.
I won't do it verbatim, but I think that we will be, the courthouse the county will close at noon on December 24th and be open for normal business hours on December 26th unless it's declared a federal holiday, and then that December 26th holiday will be observed.
Let's hurry and vote. I think that sounded good.
Is that kind of the gist?
That, you're okay with that for an amended motion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Thanks for the clarification. Roll call, please.
Friends,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Wooler.
Aye.
Thank
Very good. Thank you. I am going to skip ahead to hear concerns from elected officials, department heads, or their representatives.
This is the jail. That's damn good.
Nothing from the opposite side of the street today? No. Nothing more from roads? Jason, you're in the hot seat a lot, so it always surprises me if you have one more thing at the end.
Oh, no. I just had got to it.
Do we have any Lincoln County Commissioner Committee reports? I do have one.
You know, I would just say the inland port
Okay.
is certainly moving ahead well with purchasing their transloaders, 2 of them, one stainless, one stainless, purchasing a unit to actually move the cars up, back and forth. The Chamber Development Corporation, Gary Pearson, has certainly been bent over backwards and being an excellent member of that team in helping to support in every way possible, both with some loans as well as looking at secondary access into the property, looking down the road at where some of the majority of the business is going to be. I think they've also been a tremendous partner in helping identify future clientele and making those introductions with the not only the county but also the inland port. I just feel really good about the way things are going out there. They've got a great board, cohesive. They've got a very adequate, I shouldn't say adequate, a very good attorney on board representing them. And to me, it just appears to be that the grease is finally getting those bearings, and they really are moving and doing a good job. Commissioner Bruns.
I would agree. You know, the position that body is at right now, when you think about where, you know, it was only not even a handful of years ago, this was just a concept. I think that they're in a really good spot. I'd also point out that they did reorganize and they did elect all the same officers to those positions. So I think that's a testament for how well they're working together.
Very good, good update.
Madam Chair, I just had a quick update. Reached out to Jody Gibson regarding the RAISE grant. They still have not received anything back from USDOT since the government, federal government reopened. So I was just touching base with her. I wanted to make sure everybody was aware that that was the case. So as soon as she hears anything from USDOT, she'll let me know and I will let the board know.
Very good, thank you for that.
They're not part of the Department of Education, are they, federal?
West Central Health had their last meeting of the year last week, and all the money that they had to work without, or anticipation of, for the following months, may be reinstated in a different fashion from a different source through the Make America Healthy Again legislation at the federal level, and that may reinvigorate cash that they were gonna lose from our governor, who promised to take even more away through the legislative process in January. And so it's still a state of flux, but there is some possibility that West Central Health will get some additional funding that they haven't otherwise seen in the past.
Good.
So we'll see how that goes, but no one knows what that number looks like. Apparently there's some serious money on the table there that could come their way. So quite a bizarre change of events there with their funding challenges. But they had planned accordingly, and they're in pretty good shape there anyway, so I anticipate they'll be able to function as fairly normally with the status quo.
Very good. A quick update from, if you don't mind.
No, I was gonna ask about the development district.
Very good, that's where I was gonna go. It was brought to my attention, at our last development district meeting that, the 8 development districts across the state of Nebraska received a $700,000 cut in funding from the Nebraska Department of Economic Development with and I don't know if this is absolute or an idea in the making, but that $700,000 was going to be reallocated to 6 regions, 1 Nebraska, which they have a great mission. They've done a lot of really good work across the state also. And so as part of our NACO monthly meetings, we are given a phone call with Governor Pillen once a month for the board. And so I did bring it up and address it. Governor Pillen was very open to conversation about it. I had a couple of suggestions that I made, and he did ask Grant Latimer from his staff to get with me and Ed Dunn. So we have a meeting set up for the first week of December to have a conversation and just explore what the proposal is and if there is any way they can reconsider. The thing I added to the conversation was our development districts are tried and true. They have long-standing relationships in their districts with all of their communities, and the work that they do is tried, true, and proven. And so maybe there will be some opportunities for us to collaborate or combine forces and get some of that funding back into the development districts. $700,000 split between 8 districts is going to have a very substantial impact on some of the programs that we do, especially in the smaller villages where they can't always afford their own nuisance officers. And West Central does
They're doing a lot of
great work.
housing.
A lot of housing, a lot of nuisance, a lot of code enforcement.
The one problem, I mean, the development districts have a unified mission across the state.
Yes.
6 regions, 1 Nebraska. All 6 regions can have different priorities. And I think that's where the problem with this reallocation of funding lies. You're gonna get different outcomes based on those dollars where you have something that's measurable across the board for the entire state with the development districts, so.
One thing I've come to realize, it doesn't matter which organization or what community I'm in, we're all the same. We struggle with housing, with childcare, with many of the same things. We're not that different from one end of the state to the other when it comes to those essential things that are really impacting our communities in a negative way. And so I'm hopeful that coming together and having that conversation, I insisted that Ed be invited to the meeting also because he's the one that can really speak intelligently to it. So I'm hopeful that we can have a good, healthy, productive conversation.
Having served on that board for more years than I would like to remember, I have only the highest respect for the person heading up 6 regions, 1 Nebraska. I understand, I appreciate the governor looking at that and trying to unify our state. I appreciate that.
Yep.
I also do know that the missions really are a little bit different when you get down to the nuts and bolts of it. And when you go back prior to Ed, even the 2 or 3 executive directors prior to that, it would be easy to show a track record of the kinds of things that that district has actually almost saved some of the smaller communities in this region with their work and continue to do today. So I'm glad to hear that the governor is at least put somebody on his staff and is willing to talk about it. But you know, they're both fruit and they're great tasting fruits, but it is like apples and oranges. And I think that I just hope that they look at the hands on and the boots on the ground that's been going with the districts for so long. I'll get off my soapbox.
I agree with everything you said, Joe. we have a great relationship with our representative from 6 Regions, 1 Nebraska. She's attended a lot of our meetings. We attend her meetings as much as we can. And so I feel like we can come to maybe a split in the
But see,
focus.
I thought when he did that, it was gonna be something both could coexist. I didn't know you were gonna take funding, or the governor was gonna take funding from one so that another could go. I mean, I was all for the 6 Regions, 1 Nebraska, but don't pull funding from another one that's been there forever working. That's my point.
Right.
So I'm a stakeholder, I serve on the board for the Development District, and I'm also a stakeholder, active stakeholder with 6 Regions, 1 Nebraska for the Mid-Plains region. When this started, it was my understanding that 6 Regions, 1 Nebraska was gonna be kind of a think tank of what's needed in the particular regions, and
My
we
thought
partner
exactly.
with the existing resources, like the community college, the development districts, the economic development corporations, to carry out what we as community leaders envision for the entire region. I mean, our region just did a housing study where the development district has been doing housing for several years and successfully.
Decade at least.
And so I just feel like there's some duplication of efforts that are not needed. And you're taking money out of a proven operation, proven organization, proven programs to something that's brand new, and we haven't seen that. with this
And,
yet.
you know, I appreciate where the governor's at, but, I also, I realize the state's in a tough situation right now. You know, they're way in the red, they're gonna be farther in the red this coming year, and that they need to make some cuts, but if we need to make cuts, that's certainly up to him and the legislature to decide where they make them. But make the cuts, say what it is. Say we're short of funds, we need to balance our budget, we're gonna cut these things. I would appreciate that. But to say that, you know, we're gonna take it from this to give to that, that's my only concern. And I appreciate it. I know that, you know, we try to be fiscally responsible. The state's trying to do the same thing. So they're trying to balance a budget, but I think I think some people are trying to confuse the two, and to me, it kind of diffuses it, but that's just me.
Well,
That was pretty much the context of our conversation was, you know, duplication of services, what, we're already doing, tried, true, proven, we have established relationships, and so, but it was a good conversation. He was very open, and, it caught all of the development districts by surprise. That wasn't anything that had been talked about in any of the meetings, so, but I felt like it was a good conversation and we're moving in a good direction, and I will keep you all posted on that. Tyler, some feedback for you out of our legislative conference. One of the, asks from some of the counties in the eastern part of the state was they asked legislature to address, how long attorneys' offices could submit bills to the counties for payment. And as an example, there was a county who got a bill that was over 3 years old from their public defender's office. And it was for a large sum of money. They weren't anticipating in it, and it really had a negative impact on their budget.
state.
And
They disclaimed that and didn't pay it and then forced them into district court so that they could argue with the judge.
Well,
They fit inside that 90-day limit, but
Yeah, because it's well-defined in state statute.
I don't know all the details, but what I do know is they asked legislature to amend state statute or pass a statute addressing that. And so I suggested in the meantime, because we know that is, yeah, they want it amended.
It's already addressed.
And apparently, some of us were unaware of it. And so I told them about the memo that you sent out to all of our vendors and gave them, I had asked you some questions, you provided me with the statute, I passed that on, and I got a lot of positive feedback from commissioners in other counties thanking you for sharing that information.
So they
Because they
wanted,
were unaware.
they wanted amended the existing language of the 90 days?
Well, apparently they have disputed it and were unsuccessful in those bills. Yeah, so,
Arguably speaking, that's so ironclad that if the board approves a claim that's outside of 90 days,
We could be in trouble.
you might have to pay it.
yeah.
So
I
you
don't-
don't even feel like a bad guy if the whole claim comes through.
Don't know all the details.
I believe I want to
Yeah.
go there.
I think it's already addressed, is people arbitrarily deciding to choose one way or the other and ignore it.
Whether
They
they
probably shouldn't
enforce
be.
it or not.
They should be going, nope, take it to district court.
Yeah.
I'm either very unlucky in law or I speak too much because I've had a number of counties learn things that I thought were pretty obvious just because we started doing it here. So,
I was a little surprised that it made it that far to the legislative conference, but thank you for helping me communicate that, back up that direction. It's gotten a lot of positive feedback.
it's amazing how much fun you can have when you read law.
Yeah, but
I was
little
gonna say, it's
counties-
already there, they just need to pay attention.
You know, it's
pretty crystal
smaller
clear,
counties
I-
that don't have the luxury of having
Right.
an attorney sitting around, it's
Right.
tough.
That's true.
And
I am sympathetic to that.
I'd be interested in finding out what that amendment would be, first off, but I mean, I
Yeah, I know.
don't, I can't imagine there'd be anybody out there in the legislative body that would take that up as a bill, but if we find out that they're trying to extend it,
it
we
was
need to make sure that
proposed.
we're staying on top of that, because
Yeah.
90 days protects the taxpayers.
Absolutely. Tyler, do we have a need for a closed session today?
No,
Oh, you hesitated a little long there for me. Very good. Does anybody have anything else for the good of the county?
Jerry didn't ask what the last claim number was.
Oh, what's the last claim number?
Well, I'll let Jerry
It's
ask
90
that question.
It's 92, Jerry.
92.
Well, I got 93, so.
92.
Uh-oh. See what happens when Jerry's not here? Very good. If there's nothing else, we will adjourn at 10.